Well, look at that not becoming a total disaster. Yeah. I like. Alright. Now, I forgot splashies and... Ooh, yeah, splashy. Speaking of splashy. So did I forget, like, any kind of hills or trees or... I mean, that would be something. A big tree and I just don't see it. So I was thinking about making this guy yellow and this guy red. Was that what I was thinking? It's a good thing I know what I was thinking. Right, so I have an entire array of oranges right there, which I was probably going to use. I know I had these for the, like his spots, his freckles, those dragon freckles, or just spots. Alright, did I just do this in the wrong order? Yes, of course I did, but that's okay. That is not the one I was looking for. So, freckles it is. So I actually got this one and that one and, right, that one, that's a darker one. Alright, let's freckle him. I'll probably want to go from dark to light because these are small. This one was going to be yellow or red. I can still change my mind. I guess, but I do want this in. As I was watching these were kind of intense, but we'll just see how they turn out. Alright, can I think about shading for a little bit? Do I feel like it's okay if these spots, freckles, I don't know, have like their own shading? And that doesn't necessarily make sense shadow-wise, but they are dragons. Dragons aren't real. So neither are their shadows. I feel like that's a good excuse. Alright. Now he's got... Now let's just get his sort of tongue done. Which is why I probably chose to do red, yellow. Because he's got his tongue out. Because his tongue is out, which is going to be red. I mean, I guess it's a dragon, so I could have just made it any color. But I just feel like this makes more sense. Because he has more red here. And the other one has water. There's a little bit of tongue right there, but I can just... I could technically just ignore it, turn it into a tooth or something. Or just cover it with black. Ooh, that would actually be a nice idea. Just cover it up. Camouflage it. I just felt that the yellow would complement that guy a little more. Now for the inside, I could just go for another yellow, but let's just color it. Let's see where it takes me. What's that? just picking up a random yellow, like why? Why did I drop that all the way over there? Alright, I get it. Base layer. Let's just freckle spot dot thing. Nope, I decided to call him Freckles. He is Freckles. Nope, freckles are usually around the nose, but he's a dragon. Logic doesn't apply to him. Not today, anyways. There you go, Freckles. Alright. One of the fun things convenient about base layer, that one, you can see if the color works out, and two, you can kind of figure out in which direction you want to be coloring. Like which areas are going to be hard when you're going to put in the shading and everything. Because again, you want to keep going fast enough that it doesn't dry up streaky. So on the one hand, where it's really convenient that these pictures are big, it's also kind of hard to figure out which direction to color in, because like a little spot like here, I mean, it does kind of, the line doesn't connect to it, but you know, if you kind of stop there, no one's going to notice. So that's good to know, but that is like such a little area that's not really going to help me. Also want to be careful not to smudge those. I'm not sure why I did those first. I mean, I had another dragon in this book that I think also had these spots, but I did that with just one color as a base layer and then put pencil over it, so that's different anyways. See, now for his face. Now going in one direction, that's not really going to be a problem, but he has a, I'm just going to put that right here. It seems like a safe spot. I mean, I'll find out later, but I'll probably put some shading in here anyways, so it wouldn't really show. That way I don't have to color the top and the bottom at the same time. Because you kind of have to find a line where you can just stop. But, I mean, the good thing, these are a large area, so you can just color fast. But, you know, that's also kind of the downside of these. They are very large areas, so once you start, you gotta keep going. Also want to remind myself that this is just the base layer, so I'm just glad I caught that. Probably should have just drew that line myself. Some of those books, they have that where the eye just kind of doesn't have a line around it. So you kind of have to double check before you start coloring. And then, you know, you can draw it in yourself, or use a, well, you could just use pencil, I guess. Well, that looks kind of okay. Alright, now I have my assorted yellows, where I have a orangey as the darkest one. So I'm just probably going to start adding the darkest one, because There's a lot of colors coming over that anyways. I don't want to put too much color on the paper all at once. Kind of figuring out where it would make sense for the shadow to be. Probably around the water too. Maybe not too much, just a little bit. And then I'm thinking right here. And a little bit right there. And of course, they also have a lot of grayscale books. You know, you don't have to really worry about the shading because it's pre-shaded. But I don't know, I kind of like figuring it out on my own, and sometimes I just like putting the shading in places where it really shouldn't be, just because I can. I'm not going to do any there, nothing hitting like this. Definitely a shaded area. Maybe a little bit here. All right. And definitely over here. Make that one long line. Oops. Crossed over to his nose. We'll just pretend that didn't happen. It looks so incredibly dark right now. I'm making a very bad choice here. At the front of coloring. Alright, I'm just going to do his arm. See how it turns out. And I have the rest of my colors here. I might just ruin the entire picture right now. But I did grab quite a few yellows. Hoping I could make that transition from the dark to light really smooth. But I don't know. I am a little scared right now. Hoping this will turn out okay. And color-wise, I guess I should say looks good. Transition is nice. Just gonna keep going. Alright, so that dark one, I'm definitely putting away before I grab it by accident. Right. Guess I gotta sort of pick up the pace here. Certainly it's a big area. Ooh, totally messing up his spot right now, but Oh, that was a weird lump. Creating a lump on his finger. Is it his finger? Or his paw, or his claw, or his finger, claw, paw, paw, claw, finger. Wow, Dodo. It's like when you're running out of things to say, you just babble. Alright. Not hating it. Might not be exactly what I was going for, but honestly, I wouldn't know what I was going for then. But I guess I wanted it to be more yellow, but this makes it look more real. Because, you know, dragons are real. It's funny, because earlier I said they definitely weren't, but well, it works to my benefit if they are. Alright, didn't really give a lot of shading on his face. Started here, so okay. That's like the darker side of his cute face. Because he sure is cute. I'm just gonna put this little shading, I guess. Alright, now I'm gonna create a bit of a stressful situation for myself. Because now I'm gonna have to color like crazy. Keep this from drying up and looking very weird. Lucky for me, this is already a nice yellow, so I'm just going to go a little into this and over it and sort of oh wow. Alright, and now I'm going to go into the lighter one. Because he needs lighter spots as well. Now the inside of his mouth, I'm just going to go for black. It's like my safe bet, I guess, if all else fails. I tried to do matching colors before. So it'd be like a yellow dragon and maybe make the inside of his mouth like orange or something, but this works too. Not sure what to do with his eye though. I might just go with the same color as those little spots that he has. might look a bit weird, but he's a dragon. He's allowed to look weird. It's too bad that I actually have some of the yellow coming through there. It's just some of it. So I'm just gonna see if I can fix that with this. White on white paper is annoying because you can't really see what you're doing. I'm gonna do this right here, hoping that the Posca will go a little better, because of course I'm going to use my Posca again. Alright, well, it's not really cooperative. Okay. Might as well just use it on his little thing as well. That's what I've been doing so far. It just turns out just a bit wider. Alright, I'm just gonna take. Whoa! Well, his fang just got bigger, but that eye dry yet? Because I'm not happy with that. Sometimes just tapping it is actually better than dragging it along the paper. Alright, that's good. Now I'm just going to take a little break. And I'll be back in a bit. After some editing, that probably would have been a very short break. Now I'm going to do his horns and his little claws and nails, whatever. Normally I would try to make it look like real claws, but thinking this time I'm just going to stick to claws that I already used, except for the darker one, I guess. So I'm just going to, this is the light one, right? That is the light one. Don't want to mess up too much, because I feel like I've already messed up enough. I'm probably gonna go in with my Posca later. Now somehow I feel like this should be that hill, but guess there's always these tricky bits. This is why it's fun to just see how other people colored it. Because sometimes they just, you can see that other people thought of things that you never would have thought of. I have decided that these two are siblings. Therefore, I want some things to be, well, similar in both of them. I mean, obviously one is going to be yellow and this one is going to be red. Which is why I chose a bit of a pink orange for the details, the nails, that guy's little spots. But that pink, orangey kind of color also goes well with red. Well, we'll see if it goes well with the red, but that was the plan anyway. The plan is that it's going to look good. I always plan for it to look good. Kind of too bad that I had a lot of green coming over the line there. I'm not sure I can make that look pretty. I've already noticed that where I'm sometimes complaining that there's a lot of, well, was it bleeding feathering, I think it is. And then I actually start editing the video and then I can hear myself say it. And then I'm looking at the footage and I hear I'm saying it, but I can't see it. So, and then again, you know, I really like details, I guess. So maybe that's why I pay more attention to it. I still think this is part of the hill, but I only just realized that once I already started using the pink, so, or orange, or pink, or orange pink? Porange? Or what does it even? Carmine red. This is not helpful. I'm debating whether it's pink or orange. First one I pick up says it's red. Well, this is light orange, so I guess that settles it. And this one is, what's that? Quench? Well, that's a good thing I can't zoom it. What's the Y4? I totally forgot to do the darker parts. Did I? Well, I mean, it looks that way anyways. So now I can just camouflage that green. I mean, that was not really how much highlight I wanted to put there, but I guess these highlights also work to get rid of some of that fraying, feathering. Yeah, highlights work to get rid of the feathering, bleeding. Whoopsies. They are marker whoopsies. Alright. Yeah, I definitely did not do any of the darker parts here. Which you can still do. Just try not to touch the Posca. Now, this one's going to be red, but I want him to look like his brother, sister, sibling. I want him to look like his sibling. So, same color that I used for his little dots, I'm going to use for his, well, belly and wings. I'm just going to start at the wings. Just to get a little feel for it, because I am going to have to use the darkest color as well. Maybe not on the wings, but yeah, well actually maybe where the wings go now. It's a good thing that if I do kind of go into the other parts, it doesn't really matter, considering I want to go darker there. So now this, is the darkest one. See, now I'm seeing it actually sort of going into the wing. Yeah, well, on the camera I can see a little bit as well, but I guess it's a good thing the camera doesn't pick it all up. That way it looks like I'm really good at this, or well, better at this. On the other hand, you know, I don't want to show people how good I am, because I'm just coloring. I don't really have an opinion about that. And I guess I could do worse. You know, I can see that it's not bad, but other than that, I just don't really have an opinion about it. So, but I do have a lot of things that just go right. Like, I remember the first time I got a coloring book with like snow, and that was when I just got started. So I started in like September, and that was actually with markers, which is fun because I'm now figuring out markers a year and a half later. Though granted, those were different markers. I just picked up a coloring book, which was like 78 cents. Kind of just walked past it, and I think I had some time on my hands, and I was like, well, why not? I actually had a little summer program. It was in August, I think it was. Just a program for kids that were less fortunate, I guess. I don't know if less fortunate is the right way to call it, but like whose parents, for some reason, didn't have money. So we had like this little activity week for them. But you know, sometimes you have a little time on your hands where you're not doing anything or setting things up, or I actually brought coloring books for the kids. Those were glitter coloring books, which is kind of mean. I mean, I get it. If you go out shopping and, well, you don't know your coloring books, and you're shopping for kids, although actually those were picked up at the adult section. So I guess you'd be forgiven. You'd think, oh, glitters, that's fun. Kids like glitters. It's just, we had like normal felt tip pens for them. And those books, they really require alcohol markers. And even then, they're still kind of tricky. I started off in those eventually. I mean, first I bought that cheap book, but I just remember seeing all those kids color and was like, you know, this is fun. You know, I just remember all the fun that I used to have as a kid, just coloring. And wondering why the heck did I stop as an adult? Who cares what other people think? I mean, I live on my own anyway, so there's no one around anyways. Don't have to worry about that. I can just color whenever I want. Just keep the curtains closed. No one will know. But yeah, I just walked past those coloring books and I was like, you know, I remember these kids having so much fun and actually wondering why I ever stopped. I do remember looking at those books at some other point. Or like those mandala books. They just looked so hysterical. I actually opened one of them and I was like, oh my god, that is a lot of work. Maybe I was just in the shop at the wrong time, or I don't know, for some reason the first time I saw those books I didn't pick them up, but then, you know, after seeing all those kids just coloring and having their fun, and kind of made me buy it. Just being reminded of the fun I used to have. Alright, now I got 4 colors. Is that correct with what I decided to do? I am thinking yes. Could maybe go a little lighter with I think it is the R12. Yes. R12 into R1. No. Made a plan. Stick to it. Just stick to it. Do the wing first. So I get the 1, the 2, 6, and the 8. I think I'm gonna stick with it. Don't want to overcomplicate my life. Alright. Just start with the wing. Before I was actually commenting that I didn't have to worry about the pink running into the red, but how about the red not running into the damn pink? Alright, now I gotta go to the R2. I'll just stay away for a bit. It'll be a mess anyways. I'm not sure why I'll just keep it a little bit open right here. I feel like I just got that R1 for no reason at all. You can just see how it kind of tries to find its way over the line. Which of course is because I'm using 3 layers in a row. And number 4 is incoming right now, which this paper doesn't seem to agree with all that much. But you know, I am not going to complain about that, because it is a choice that I made. I do have to say that, you know, again, if you print it, then the printer ink, that doesn't go too well with that marker ink, so it gets smudgy. Because I actually think I did try a page, but quickly discarded that because it just wasn't working. Not as well as I hoped. I have found a way around that. And you could just trace it, I guess. But that is a lot of work. I might try one of these pages with the help of my bright pad one of these days, because that would actually allow me to color it. And I will also get a result that doesn't show the lines. Had a little fun with that. Already got a few videos of that up. One on how to use it, but I might actually, since I have a mic now, I might just do another one. If anyone is actually interested in that. And if not, I'll probably still do it. So far, I'm not getting a lot of comments on my videos, so I kind of have to guess what people want or don't want. So I guess this is an open invitation to just, let me know what you think. Be gentle. Dodos have feelings too. Alright. That is turning out good. Now I'm just going to go from dark to light. Because the other way around is just so much layering that I'm kind of like oversaturating the paper. Is that a thing? Well, even if it's not, I guess you know what I mean. It's just putting too much stress on the paper, which is just making it feather. Even though I have rather thick lines, so I might just have to do what I did in other places and just come back and do a little top layer in hopes that I can bring it all together. These scales are always a bit of a pain, but I'm gonna make it look good. People might be watching. I mean, I wouldn't know right now. If it were live, I would know that, but then I wouldn't have been able to fast forward my battle of picking colors. So I would have actually forced people to watch that. That would have just been mean. It's also kind of why I decided to just pick my colors before this time and hope that I can stick to my choices. I usually get started and then I just feel like I should change something. This is the 6. I need the 8. This is the problem. So the 6 is kind of nice and pink. But the red is just, it seems like it should follow that one, doesn't it? I mean, cap-wise, I don't know where the 6 would go, but alright, so it's gonna have some shape right there. Ooh, that actually turned out a rather thin line. I'm kind of proud of that. Also kind of sad, because I'm probably gonna mess that up. Messing things up. Could someone just keep track of how many times I say mess up, or mess it up, or my favorite word, my go-to phrase. I don't want to mess it up. Well, I mean, it is like a adult channel thingy, so maybe for the next coloring chat I should just turn it into a drinking game. Whenever I say mess up, or anything close to it, have a drink. I probably shouldn't join, because then before I get anywhere near coloring or blending, I'd be kind of drunk. That would be bad. Would be fun though. Could do that. Like a drunk coloring. Just to see how it goes. Don't want to use one of these though. These are just too cute to mess up. Wow. I would say if anyone decides to turn this into a drinking game, comment, but by the time we get to the end of any video, you would not know how to type. Okay, this is kind of wow. I think I really like the red. I thought it was going to be sort of bad, but it's sort of good. Alright, so these skills I can just do. I love how you can do these very fine lines with that brush nip. I mean, that almost tricked me into thinking you can do really detailed stuff, but I don't know, these things kind of flow. The flow of ink, it's so good. Which is really nice when you just keep going like this, but I have been working on pages that have so ridiculous detail that, you know, you just can't go this fast. I might upload those at some point. And I just want to work on one thing at a time. On top of that, you know, I'm not gonna really, I don't think I want to really talk about other books while coloring in one. And of course I got more than one on my page already. My channel already has other books on there, but I am coloring baby dragons right now, so. And anyone who's interested in any other, just check my playlists. At least right now I still name them, the books. So if you're looking for something in particular, I'm sure you could find it. Pretty sure I'm gonna turn this into a speed coloring as well, because I've done that with a few other baby dragon pages. So I kind of want to complete that playlist. And I guess I could mention there that I also have, well, this version, the color and chat version, or color and ramble version, more like, but so I guess in the future, if I do decide to do other books, then I'll just put them in those lists. And if you have any suggestions of books that I should really have a look at, I'm always open to suggestions. Do keep in mind I have to buy it all on my own, so one at a time is plenty. Maybe someday, but that's not today, so that day might not even come. Just right, so a little bit of dark right here. So far this red is turning out pretty good, if I do say so myself. I was afraid that maybe the red would be a bit too much, because I have the brown in the back. And I only thought of the tongue part. I just thought, you know, this one I could probably work it better with the scales and everything. Can never really know for sure. I guess some people have like this really clear vision of what they're gonna do up front. Well, I am not one of those people, but I'm guessing you already figured it out. I just color. Guess I just need to really show that to people. Because like I do get questions every now and then, and I feel kind of bad because half the time I don't even know how I did something. Which, you know, when you see how I color, makes more sense, I guess. I just kind of do. And of course I say I have no idea what I'm doing. Maybe that's a lie, I guess. I mean, I do have some idea of what I'm doing. Like, you know, I do know that markers, you know, if it's still wet, then, you know, it's easier to blend. And I have figured that out and got it confirmed from people who probably do know. So I guess I can confirm that to everyone. But the things I know, well, they could be sheer luck, or I mean, that is the fun of coloring, and just figuring it out or finding a new way to do it. Nothing wrong with that either. Finding new ways. Guess that is the one thing that I do tell people, you know, don't necessarily find the way, find your way. Because I have noticed, you know, I usually work with, well, I was more used to working with colored pencils. And I kept reading, you know, you gotta work in layers and you gotta work from light to dark to do your shading. And here I was just coloring, not really going in layers, actually. I mean, I tried that, but it felt like it took so long to get a very similar result. I was also, you know, I was first doing my shadow and then coloring in the lighter areas. So that whole going from light to dark thing, I went from dark to light. So a lot of those how-to, I'm sure people mean well, but it doesn't work for everyone, apparently. So, you know, what I try to do is that when people ask me, I would emphasize on this is how I do it. It's also, sometimes it makes me sort of giggle when someone asks a question under one of my posts, like, how did you do it? And then someone else answers, you know, like, how did you do the shading? And then they would actually give an answer like, well, you have to color from light to dark. And then I actually can't help myself but say, well, actually, I went from dark to light. I mean, that is how the picture was done. And as you can see here, I am really all over the place. But that is maybe just the fun of it. You should just color and I feel that, you know, I guess you can kind of feel if it's going right. I don't know if that makes any sense to anyone, but you know, I just want to get a feel for whatever I'm working with. Because I have read, like with pencils, again, you know, work in layers, go from light to dark. And I actually gave that a little try, but before you know it, I'm back to default settings and just doing my own thing again. Because for me, that just seems to work better. Which is why, you know, I wouldn't tell anyone this is how you have to do it. I mean, I can tell people how I did it. Because that I know. Or, well, sometimes I just color without thinking. So I really have no idea how I did it. I just did it. And sometimes it's just luck. Trying combinations and figuring, ooh, this really works. I've had a few oohs in this coloring chat as well. But yeah, I really don't care how these markers were meant to be used, because I just use them the way I think I should use them. Alright, now for the inside of his mouth, I could go for black. I mean, that works on him, but something tells me it might not work for this guy, because he's a different color. I'm just going to do like the darkest red that I have. See how that looks, and if it looks bad, well, then I can always make it black after. Ooh, well, this does not look bad yet. Let's just keep going and see how it turns out. Random ramblings, trying to focus on coloring and talking. So by the time I get to editing, I'm probably listening to myself thinking, what were you trying to say, Dodo? I could do voiceover, but talking to myself while coloring, I find that weird enough already. Guess that's really kind of what this feels like. And I could go live, I guess, but wouldn't be able to see if people say anything. Alright. Well, look at this. Wow. I guess in editing I could just write down subjects that I started and then got distracted. Should probably do that. So that maybe in the next video I can actually write it down and just come back to a certain subject. Alright. Why didn't I do that on these? You can just hear when you kind of make your Posca go the wrong way. Or the right way, depending on how you look at it. I think this is kind of done, isn't it? And that one turned out, the red is so vibrant. Yeah. I would not know what else to do with this. Just looks done to me, really. So yeah, I'm just gonna call this. I don't think there's much more I can mess up, I guess. Ooh, that white is just not as white as I wanted it to be. See? You're not done until you're done. I love how the red kind of just mixed with the Posca here. I'm just making it worse. Of course I'm making it worse. That's a thing. I want them to have highlights too. They look kind of weird to have shiny everything but the dragon. So his nose is going to be shiny. Got a little bit of shiny right here. And a little bit of shiny right here. Maybe at the top of his head, like right here. Maybe a little bit over there. Whoa, that was a bit of a thick line. Ooh, see, that is what I like about these. It's just so quickly bringing it to life. But again, you know, I gotta try and not go overboard. It's just so easy. Just a few lines. Makes it look all shiny. I mean, they are taking a bit of a bath, so usually that makes things cleaner, right? So he will have this shiny cheek. And that'll shiny on his horn. I'm going all out, aren't I? Just end up with an entire white piece because I went overboard with the darn Posca. Why are you so much fun? Right. So we now have a fun pen with a fun book. Am I complaining that I'm having too much fun? Wow. Alright, well, it does look like shiny on his belly. Look at his tum-tum. He's got a shiny tum-tum. He just ate the neighbor's cat. Or something. He ate something. Alright, I should probably just stop. Alright, put the Posca away. You can do it, Dodo. You can do it. Put that Posca away, because I was just thinking that could use a little bit of sparkle. But I'm going to use the smaller one and just... This one doesn't flow as much as I want it to, but I'm thinking that that's actually okay right now. Because I'm already going a bit overboard, I feel. So, I don't know. The paper would allow it. I'll probably use way more Posca, but it does seem to wet the paper. Alright. This really should be it. No, just keep going, keep going. Just do it. Just go overboard. They are baby dragons. Can never be too much. I'm not doing, yeah, I'm doing this too. See, this is what happens when you get started. But it changes everything so drastically. So really, anyone coloring, you should get a paint marker or a gel pen or anything that has good coverage. Because you can do all these things and just look how much the page changes. Just because I'm doing a little scribbly line here, scribbly there, scribbly, scribbly everywhere. And back to the big one, which isn't big because they have way bigger ones, I think. But I'm comparing these two. This one is big. Alright, I should really just put everything away now. Now it's definitely done. So I'm gonna see if I can find my markers, which are everywhere by now. And hopefully I can welcome everyone back to maybe another color and chat. So, do let me know what you think in the comments. And yeah, I guess that was enough of my rambling. So enjoy your morning, evening, afternoon, whatever. Enjoy your day. And thanks for watching.